Time now for weather with Nebraska Extension Ag Climatologist and Market Journal Chief Meteorologist Al Dutcher. And Al, it's been another chilly week. What do you think we can expect for the next several days?
Well, Tar, you are correct. Pretty much we've been dominated by the colder than normal conditions, although we did get a little bit of a respite last weekend, if you want to call it that, where we had some fog and some warmer temperatures move into the state that really ate a lot of the snowpack that existed across the state. In fact, the snowpack lifted up into South Dakota as we pretty much eliminated it mostly across Nebraska. More importantly, we've seen that Arctic air come in earlier in the week, and we did see some of that alleviation as the middle of the week, but we also started to see another system move through our region, and that generated some light overrunning precipitation in our area. Thankfully, most of it was in the form of light snow. Anywhere from a ½ inch to 3 inches were reported statewide, with the heaviest up in the northern panhandle. More importantly, we missed out on the freezing rain that hit to the south and to the southeast of us. So we can be grateful that we did have this Arctic air in place, or we may have had more of a significant icing accumulation than what we've seen during this event. So now if we look at the upper air pattern, we are dealing with another system in the western United States, and that's going to shoot energy out into our region as we go through this weekend. This persistent energy might come through as we go through the overnight hours. It doesn't look like it's going to spread any major precipitation, but we do have low pressure development in southeastern Colorado with cold air to our north and warm to our south. So most of the precipitation with this first surge looks like it's going to be more overrunning light snowfall, just a trace chance for some light freezing drizzle. And then the second system starts to eject out as we get into Sunday night. That one also continues to see a low pressure system developing in the southwest. Most of the heavy precipitation remains to the west, but we do see some light overrunning snowfall and maybe some accumulation in south central Nebraska. A little bit farther to the west, and those accumulations will be in southeast Nebraska. By the time we get in the day on Monday, we see low pressure over the north central Texas. That's going to move toward the northeast, and a very heavy band of precipitation develops in the lower Mississippi River Valley with overrunning snowfall to the north, and then this trough starts to shift toward the east and northern U.S. over the Great Lakes. That will allow snowfall to fill in across a substantial portion of the Great Lakes. And for us, it looks like the heavy accumulating snowfall currently by the models is depicted to fall from the Nebraska border eastward. Wouldn't be surprised if this will back up somewhat. And then we start to see some moderation of temperatures as we get into Wednesdays. We start to see a buckling of the jet stream toward the north in response to a low coming on shore. Cold high pressure is going to slip to our east, so we're just going to brush northeast and east central Nebraska, but most of the remainder of the state remains high and dry. And as we get on the day on Thursday, the ridge really starts to build in, so we're going to see our warmest day probably on Thursday of this 7-day period. We have another high pressure system that's going to slide toward the southeast, and we have a surface lows in the western United States that are going to get organized and try to start pushing some of that energy toward our region. So on Thursday, the vast majority of the precip is across the western United States, and then we start to kick some of that energy out as we get on the day on Friday. Low pressure once again develops in north central portions of Texas. That will allow some Gulf moisture to stream northward. With the cold air coming in from our north and the south, it looks like an overrunning situation here in eastern Nebraska and the Dakotas. Looks like we'll see some potential for accumulating snowfall across the eastern half of the state. More importantly, this system will start to swing out next weekend, and we could see some significant accumulating snowfall depending on the overall storm track across the central United States. 8 to 14 day forecast from next Tuesday to the next Thursday to the following Tuesday shows the cold air remains in place. Precipitation on ongoing storms continues, and the heaviest of it in the southwest and to the southern plains. So Troy, it looks like we're going to have an active weather pattern once again for the remaining 7-day period.